Hello. Welcome to another episode here at Cuzzo-Op. In fact, it is the 67th episode. We made it to 67 of them things. That's crazy. My name is Isaiah, and I am the host for today's episode, and I am joined, as always, by my brother, my cousin, my co-host,
Arrow, also known as Willie.
Yes, sir. We're here to continue our Star Wars month. We've had 3 episodes, as well as an extra that have dropped this month of May, since May 4th. May the 4th be with you. We've been here talking Star Wars, talking TV, talking movies, talking everything. And today, we're like, man, we've been spending a lot of time talking about entertainment, but not talking enough about video games. So I said, yo, bro, let's try to run a Star Wars video game conversation. And Willie, you ate that up. You was down for that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, yeah, we 2024 overall, I feel like video games, we haven't really dived much in. And so I was like, Let's do it. It gives us a chance to hit so many different things without going too deep. So I'm excited for this conversation in light of, the newest Star Wars video game dropping later this year, Outlaws. So I'm ready. I'm ready for this conversation, bro. Let's see what you cooked up.
I would like to end our conversation on Outlaws, to be honest. We've talked about it a couple times, but, we saw trailers, different things, Summer Games Fest, I think. We're going to talk about it. But first and foremost, when I think about video games, I can't not stop and mention we've done an episode on Star Wars Survivor, right? We talked about the Fallen Order series that has been in existence for the last, I think it was 4 years now. We've had these games. There's supposed to be one more to complete the trilogy. We have an episode where we talk about both of those games. So go back and watch that or listen to that. That was before we had the cameras. Unfortunately, that's that BC before camera, you feel me? But we're not going to talk about them much today. We might touch them a little, but we have other games. And that's the thing. We were like, man, is there much of a... Yes. There are almost 20 plus Star Wars games that we can pull from and have conversation about. And that's what we intend to do today. And this is what it's going to be. Structure of today's conversation is not, we got to break. Nah, let's just talk, bro. Let's just reminisce for a sec on how fire some of the Star Wars games have been, bro. Lego Star Wars. Talk to me about some Lego Star Wars, bro.
Yeah, I could do that, bro. I mean, I think it's kind of crazy. I don't think any of us mentioned this in our getting into Star Wars episode. Lego Star Wars, the complete saga, could 100% be somebody's introduction to the Star Wars universe.
That's so true. We forgot that.
I mean, for me, I would say that my love of the whole franchise, it came from watching the movies and Clone Wars, but playing complete saga over and over and over and over again, that joint was magical. I'm going to bring it back to the getting into Star Wars. Magical. And it was crazy that it was magical because, this new age of Lego games, we've seen it. They got the voice work. They got the comedic mixed in with the voice work and the fancy graphics. And it's like, nope. Here, what you had 2 games, Lego Star Wars 1 and 2, put together to make this full Star Wars saga at the time. No voice lines. And just still managing to tell the story as it needed to be told.
Yeah.
Multiplayer, fun, cooperative gaming. We've spoken about how cooperative gaming can make for some of the best gaming memories. It was all there, bro. Just that Lego Star Wars, the complete saga. I be revisiting it every few years because it's timeless, bro. It's time.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Lego's most, highest grossing game. I could understand Marvel and Marvel had a couple games there too. And that's a lot of money, and I see them trying to get their Fortnite off. Respect. I see y'all trying to cook. But that was your prime. When that game came out, I felt like that was some of the prime Lego games. And so they treated it with care and love. And every instance of it too. You played on your GameCube, played on the PlayStation, played on your DS. All of them had that same heart to it. It's sad because I felt like they went downhill from there. Me personally, there was a couple good games, but other than that,
I think there were good games in it. I don't know if
couple.
According to this list, I don't know how true it is. Sale wise, it's actually number 2. It's number 2.
What's number 1?
the first Lego Marvel superheroes, which
So
I can respect.
Marvel.
I can respect, because that's right in their transition period, and MCU was hitting like some higher Avenger points, and so I'll give that to them for the first Lego Marvel. Plus, it was before they had been influenced by the Avengers, so
right. Also, that came out after the saga had already been out, so it's like
right.
Star Wars was the one that made y'all hot.
There's a Lego Clone Wars game that's out there that I never played. You know, I actually tried to play and it wasn't doing anything for me the first few missions. I don't know why. I think it was just gameplay. I don't know. It's been the hardest Lego Star Wars game for me to get into, and I still haven't been able to fully do it. I just kind of just need to take the leap and do it. Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, it's kind of wild that they would drop a whole game for just one movie, and yet I enjoyed the hell out of it. I enjoyed it, and it was a really fun time. Which leads me to Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker saga.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that actually.
There you go.
I forgot about that.
I'm glad you said that, right? It was like super hyped. It was super hyped. Just straight up, like all 9 movies. You can fly in space.
Yeah,
and
but I will say
and go
this,
to planets.
When it came out, though, the camera, the realism, the different buttons and gameplay mechanics that they were trying to add, I was digging that. I was like, okay,
it was
that's
cool.
It was I played the demo. I remember playing the demo,
but it was still a letdown for many reasons. You know, I think one of the biggest reasons is Lego pushing for this idea that the only way to experience co-op is sitting with each other on the couch. When their original games back on the flimsy PS2 had online multiplayer.
Big facts.
How are you going to take that away for this? As if some of the greatest complete saga experiences weren't handled together.
Right.
Why do me and my friend need to shut up a ghetto screen share on the PlayStation?
Trash.
To be able to play the game together, and then it's lagging and all this other stuff. Like, that was a turnoff. And then just diving into gameplay elements, after the first 2 episodes, you start to see every scene that they do has a formula to it. They're like, all right, here's the joke, cut this in. Yeah, it was cool to have the Clone War actors be their characters the entire time. Like, that was dope. But after a while, it did get tiring just having the scenes play out the same way. Oh, joke here. Oh, but that didn't feel like good comedic timing. It feels like y'all are losing your comedic timing.
Yeah.
The simple comedy of the Clone War, the old saga, bro, the complete saga, when Darth Vader is revealing that he's his dad, but he can't talk, so he just pulls out the family picture and it's him and Padme standing. That's comedic genius. And here beautiful. It was just wishy-washy to me.
It's a comedic genius. That drives me dead.
It was, bro. Straight up, bro. Like, who thinks of that? Like, some of the hardest hitting moments, I get you sometimes got to turn into jokes, but it was like they did it too much for me. Yeah. It's still a large, expansive game, but I was left feeling overall here now, years later, disappointed by my experience with that game, and it's unfortunate. It is, you know, I mean, yeah, man.
Yeah, I think when it comes to Lego Star Wars, we all know what's the peak. We all know what was like great stuff, and you can tell when. That's why this new stuff that they're putting out, I'll give them a shot, man. They're not gonna go out. You got a brilliant franchise. You should never stop making games, in my opinion. But you got to figure it out. You got to figure out. I think partnering with Fortnite was a good idea for them, but it's because Star Wars it's cast a shadow on it, even on itself. It's crazy, bro, that's the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, y'all remember making a Jedi, being able to mix the body parts together to create your own, like, and that's an experience that I think we have to talk about in gaming. It's been the opportunity to play as a Jedi, right? Like, let's talk a little bit of Knights of the Old Republic. Did you ever get to play Knights of the Old Republic and like live that out through that game?
Not much. You
bro,
know,
I never got to play it ever, bro.
No. I mean, there are so many of these Old Republic games. They got a remake that's been on the way for damn near who knows how long now.
I'm going to play the crap out of that when it comes out.
If we ever get it, bro. I've been starting to think of just going to play it the old one.
Yeah.
You know, so I did never get to play them. It sounds like such a cool idea. I just never had the ability to, and now that I have the ability to, I'm like, do I just wait for my Knights of the Old Republic remake? Like, do I just wait for that? Do I go play? I know someone, shout outs to Ted, who's been playing through some of these older games, and he's been saying he's had a blast. Like, I'm like, what do I do, bro? I'm so conflicted. Even if I play the remake, why not just go play the original and then play the remake and see what the differences are? I don't know. We'll see what happens, bro.
I don't even know where I would go to play. I don't have a PC, bro. I'm sick. You could play it because you have a PC.
Right, exactly. So I'm kind of like, damn, I don't know what to do, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you probably have a lot of time to make that decision up, but one thing that is super fire is this idea of like, we may not always be able to make our own Jedi, but they have done a great job of the Jedi that we get to play as in some games. They are coming of age, so we get to rise with them. So it kind of feels like we're Jedi with them. And you know what series I got to talk about when it comes to their rise, seeing it from the beginning. That Force Unleashed, baby. Let's talk some Force Unleashed. Yo, I know I just took a couple folks back just saying Force Unleashed and Force Unleashed 2. Like, y'all remember running in the jungle? Y'all remember that? Remember? Yo, yeah, yeah. Y'all remember the dark saber and getting the crystal at the top of the. There wouldn't be a Fallen Order or a Jedi series right now without Force Unleashed. I hope y'all know. I hope y'all know. Bro, running around and destroying cats and feeling your powers grow from the beginning of the game to the end to such an outrageous space is a beautiful thing, bro. So beautiful. What is it? Jake Starkiller. Jake Starkiller. Yo, bro.
Star Killer, bro. Just Star Killer, bro.
Starkiller.
Yeah,
Fire.
Mr. Galen Merrick, bro. Shout out to Sam Witwer, you know. He's goated.
Sam Witworth, man. Goated for that.
He's goated. Here's what I'll say about this franchise, right? These two games. The first game is timeless as hell in terms of like the plot they cooked up. One of my favorite Jedi of all time comes from this. Rom Coda, you know what I'm saying?
Coda, bro.
Waiting for him to be brought into canon. His name was on some walls in Obi-Wan Kenobi, but you know, that's not enough for me, bro. I need to see him, you know?
Yeah, you want him in the flesh. He's a badass too.
The
bro.
concept of him is so dope. Like the concept of a Jedi who survived Order 66 because he didn't trust the clones. And so he just had his own private militia. So when that call went out, he was just like, deuces. That's cool. Someone actually made me realize the other day, they said something about like, yo, we could see Rom Coda doing this during the prequel era. And I'm like, I never considered that he would be a young person at one point. He just kind of gives me the vibe of someone who was always just this old bastard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think the first game is cool, story detail wise and everything. They were cooking up. The second game, not so much. I feel like the second game is a weaker game.
For sure, absolutely.
But it's more fun. It's very just hack and slash. Essentially, in my opinion, these games are God of War games with a Star Wars coat of paint on it. Right. And I really don't mind it. What I hate about these games, unfortunately, is the perspective that it's done to the fan base in terms of power scaling and other things like that, which is why when Sam Witwer or our GOAT Kanan, you know, Freddie Prinze Jr. be out here talking about Star Wars, they need to specify like Star Wars ain't like something that is like a video game. You ain't gonna just have Jedi power up and unlock a new skill because they did something. No, that's not how Star Wars works. That's how the games work, but it's not a video game.
100%.
So everybody that's like, oh man, they need to bring Star Killer into the canon and make him just as powerful as he was. It's like, no, because he was just a fantasy video game character. Like, what my opinion of what would have worked best is what they were planning on doing in Star Wars Rebels. I don't know if you know about this. Dave Filoni was thinking about maybe bringing Galen Merrick over to Star Wars Rebels as an Inquisitor, and that he would be one of the higher ranking Inquisitors. That would have been a cool concept.
That would have been dirty.
Right? And I think like it would have been cool to mix some like Maybe you have him be the Grand Inquisitor, and he's like Darth Vader's right hand man, and then you could kind of compare him to the Ahsoka being father, the son, the daughter, all that. But essentially, I feel like the time has passed. I don't think Star Wars has a place for Galen Merrick in canon anymore, and I unfortunately do blame it on the fans because I don't
Yeah,
think they'll be able to handle having him come into canon and be weaker than he was. I don't think they'll be able to handle it. And I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I just know the fan base and I can't see it happening. Coda, absolutely. They can bring Coda in. But some would argue they already did with Kanan. So I don't know, man. But I love the games. I love the games. I platinumed them maybe about 2 years ago, and it was some of the worst experiences of my platinum PlayStation journey. So I
word.
thank them for that.
Yeah, I think fan base is gonna fan base. You already know that if you listen to our first episode this month about getting to know Star Wars and getting into it. Um, but the game nonetheless had fire. There was some fire writing, and it didn't belong there. We didn't know why it existed. We're like, this should have just been what the second game ended up being. But we got something special because that story was well written, and there were some fire characters. I love this idea of like before Kanan was Kanan, this idea of like blind Jedi, force dependence, fire. On the other end of a gray journey,
Right.
on the Order, fire. They were cooking. So it's like, it's not that I don't give Kanan his credit. Like, Kanan's still the GOAT. That's my guy forever. You know that. But at the end of the day, it's cool to see that I played this notion as a kid and then it became much more meaningful to me now later in my journey as a Star Wars fan. I walked away from Star Wars and returned in certain regards, and it hits more now with the way they fleshed it out. Video games are good for that. I'm trying to tell y'all, like this ain't a one-on-one video game conversation, but for me, bro, I feel like I talk to a lot of people who still like disrespect what a game is. Like I was talking to somebody the other night, shout out to Corbin, and I said, bro, but you like a good movie, you like a good TV show. Why wouldn't you play a game? Like the games have crazy stories. And then we came to the realization, I'm not trying to make this a console war, but what system did you play Force Unleashed on? What system did you play Force Unleashed on? The first one. Do you remember?
Are you asking me that
I'm
question right
asking
now?
you. Yeah.
I played on the Xbox 360,
Okay.
I believe. Or maybe I played on PlayStation 2.
That sounds
I
more
played
like
on
it.
PlayStation 2. Yeah.
I know, because PlayStation really does have the stories, my G. They
skipped the generation of consoles, I'm gonna say, but we don't have to dive super into that.
Nah, not at all. But I just thought it was interesting. I was like, we have been conditioned since the generations of these systems to either, if you're on the PlayStation camp, appreciate a great story, or if you're in the Xbox camp, love gaming for its entertainment. And Star Wars, I feel like, has not done a lot in the space of like competition when it comes to their games. I don't know a single game, maybe outside of some racing, I saw some racing stuff or the flight game, but have you played any multiplayer Star Wars games like that come to mind when you think of gaming in Star Wars and the universe?
I mean, co-op wise, like I kind of said, Lego Star Wars, right? But multiplayer, Battlefront 2 OG on the PlayStation 2.
Yes, that's
You know
true.
what I mean? And it may
But
have been
did
on
you really
Xbox,
play that
but I
with your
don't know.
boys though? Like, did you really
So you
play
see,
that with
I
your
didn't play
boys?
that with the boys, but I was online on the multiplayer with that. But a few years later, maybe like 15 years later, I was playing it on Steam with some friends. You know what I'm saying? But if we talking playing dead ass, then I'm talking Battlefront 2, the new one.
I know. The new one was fire. I'm not going to lie.
The new one was cool once they revived it because they released it in a very bad state. They started fixing it up. And then you know what I love about this game, bro? When it hit its peak, they canceled it. For what was it called? Battlefield 5? Battlefield whatever the fuck that one that ended up being ass.
Yeah, I don't know why
they canceled it, bro. They canceled it at the height of their gaming like career.
Stupid.
And so much content was just in their face, bro. Like as a Star Wars game, they don't have Ahsoka, bro.
Yeah, like what's wrong with these fools? Like Filoni couldn't have like flown in and been like, "Hey, yo, EA, y'all are tripping and dropping us the bag."
Not then. He might be able to do that now, bro. He might have some pull now.
Or maybe there is something coming. Again, like you're right. I forgot about Battlefront. I take back. I still think what I think about Xbox and PlayStation conditioning, but multiplayer wise, Battlefront. When that game came out, I got the beta. Me and the boys played the beta, and we had fun. Like, and we were looking for something fresh to not play
Right.
COD. Like, I want to play a first person competitive, but I also appreciate a third person game too. So the fact that you can swap between third person and first person on the fly amidst the
Right.
game, fire, bro. We were
Yeah.
having so much fun.
Yeah.
And that
I mean,
nostalgic feeling of like I unlocked the Jedi or I unlocked and then I get to play and slash up cats. Like,
yeah.
so fun, dude. Such a
Yeah,
fun
yeah. I
game.
mean, to be fair, EA has had a lockdown on the Star Wars license for a long time, and it's
Yep.
finally been let go of. So
Right.
I'm excited to see what else we get. But I think that there's been a huge void in a straight up live service. I know live service is risky nowadays with many games. You know, there are games that we'll be talking about, but there needs to be a live service Star Wars game, if I'm being truthful to you.
I
Like, there is
agree.
no reason that there is no live action, continuously updated Star Wars game. And I'm
Yep.
going to say this with my full chest. It's a shame that the best one that we've gotten in a few years is Fortnite Battle Royale.
I know. But like, what about mobile games? Did you play like any Star Wars mobile games? Because I honestly might have, but can't remember any, and I didn't look any up. Like, I
Well,
don't
look,
think I had anything too impactful. Did you?
I only, in my mind right now, I only have one. I mean, we all remember having our like iPods. I mean, maybe I know you had your iPod.
Oh,
You'd always talk about the
facts.
little just lightsaber app that would just, bzzz,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff like that, which classic, bro. They don't make them like that anymore.
No,
We just
no,
got real
no.
lightsabers behind us now.
Yeah,
You
nah.
got one too. Look at it over there, bro.
You see what you saw it over there? Yeah,
They're right there, bro. But there is a mobile game I've been playing recently. Shout outs to Abe. I hate you for this, bro, because I hate mobile gaming nowadays.
Don't tell me
Because
you're playing Galaxy of Heroes, bro.
I am playing Galaxy of Heroes,
This
bro.
I
I'm playing
can't believe
Galaxy of
it.
Heroes, and I hate it, bro. For years, I've tried, and I could never do it, and now I'm doing it, and I can't even say that I enjoy the experience because I don't. Because it's pay to win. It's all pay to win, and I'm not paying anybody shit. So I'm gonna just do the stupid grind. I like it. Got an automatic play button, so I can just start the battle and then click it, and it'll do it all for me. I
That's
can come
cool.
back 2 minutes later, so whatever. But I just the state of mobile gaming is so annoying, and I have no other choice but to kind of settle for this because then I'm just bored,
I feel
at
you.
times. So
I feel you.
that's my mobile gaming experience, bro.
Hey, bro, you
I
could put the
mean,
phone down and try to connect with the forest. Is what I'm trying to tell you, bro. You can grab a journal and try to connect with the forest instead
I
of
have a
playing
journal,
that
bro. I be
stupid
journaling,
game.
you stupid
Playing
man.
that stupid
Stupid
game.
man.
Actually, this is a game type that even Invincible has one as well. Guardians of the Globe. Guardians of the Globe, Galaxy of Heroes. They all doing the same shit.
Right, yeah.
But I need like in the last couple of months, I've signed up for a couple of betas from Hoyoverse, I think it's what they're called. They're the ones that make Genshin Impact. They have a new mobile game that just came out called Zenless Zero. The combat is butter toast on the phone. And I just keep thinking, if a Star Wars game was made to this degree, I think mad people would play it. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be this turn-based cheating thing. Like, give me an adventure that I can remember. You know what I mean? That's actually fun on my phone. We'll see, bro. Mobile gaming, man. We'll see, man.
Yeah, I mean, besides this mobile, I mean, I remember playing on my DS, bro. The old Star Wars things too, bro. I miss DSs. I do. I'd have one right now. I have one. I just don't have the charger. But there are so many other games that like we can't hit them all. This is a quick episode. This is just the shout outs to celebrate gaming and talk about the good old times before EA. They got the
tyranny of EA.
Starfighter games, bro. The Starfighter games that you kind of touched on in some episodes.
Squadron game.
Squadrons. Shout out to Hera, bro. This crazy Hera in a video game. Lightsaber duels, Jedi Academy. They got all of them, bro. But I mean,
Republic Commando, all of those oldies, the tie games.
Right. And the collabs, like I said earlier with Fortnite, how they rock it out with lightsaber abilities, Force characters, skins, and all that. They got collabs and other things. Sims got collabs, bro. Angry Bird had collabs. Like they really just be out here doing random crossovers. It's actually kind of awesome.
I'm glad, and I hope we see more of it, bro. Now that the EA tyranny is gone, bro. I swear.
Right. I need more.
I
I
need
need
more.
something permanent.
I mean, we got Star Wars Hunters coming out too this summer as well. I think it comes out in June. Another mobile game, if I'm not mistaken. And then that's June. And then August, I'm pretty sure, is when Outlaws comes out.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for that one, man. I'm excited for Outlaws, especially with the embargo raising up. Because I think there are a couple of things that, like Ubisoft's massive team that makes the division, shout outs to Corbin, that him and I were talking about this the other night. We were saying that when you're walking through New York City or you're walking through Washington, D.C. in those two games, you feel like you're there. When your back is hitting like a banister in one of these like big government buildings, you're like, yo, I feel like I'm in here. Like these bullets is whizzing off the walls, like I'm in here. So it makes me gas for them to create a new planet we've never seen in the Star Wars universe and to create spaces on planets we have already visited. I think they're going to be killing that part. I don't know about the story. I don't know about the combat. I don't know about any of that. All I know is when it comes to being in the world, I'm pretty sure it's going to be gas. Pretty sure it's going to be gas.
Okay. Heard it. I mean, for me, from what I've seen of Outlaws, just be straight up, nothing has impressed me.
Fair.
You know what I mean? I think
you just gauging, you managing your expectations.
Right.
I understand.
Right. You know, and that's what I typically like to do with video games, no matter how excited I am. Like, I'm always going to take the new Star Wars game. Unfortunately, I'm there. Like, I'm locked in, right? But I guess we're going to see. There's concepts that I'm hearing that I love.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that I thought was pretty silly that I saw online, bro, I think this is a nice space to quickly hit that conversation, is they announced their season pass. And the internet flipped out. Right? You remember that whole shit? And I'm reading the comments on Twitter and I'm like, these motherfuckers think this is a battle pass, bro.
I know. You use the word pass now and it just looks like it says battle pass.
Right. Like, could we talk about their expensive prices and how outrageous they are? Absolutely. Yeah, they be going crazy. But they were like, but why does every game need this nowadays? And I'm like, do you not remember buying the season pass for Call of Duty Black Ops 2 that gave you access to the 4 new zombie maps and the 8 new multiplayer maps?
Season passes
or the Gears of War. Right. They've been around forever. Like, what are we talking about, bro? I remember the season pass being right at the top of the DLC button in the Xbox 360 store, bro. Like,
absolute 100%.
So let's use our brains here, people. Come on now. We can get into all the other expensive conversations and stuff, but let's use our brains a little bit, man.
You know, people don't like to use their brains on the interwebs, bro. And I'm going to buy that season pass. And damn straight, I'm getting the most gold version of this game possible. And the boys be like, oh, why you be spending all that money on to not play the game? Oh. Well, guess what, bro? When it comes to Star Wars, bro, I don't want to hear no nonsense. Y'all want to make fun of me for buying Justice League? We're going to talk about it. That's fine. But this game, you're not going to make fun of me on, because EA is able to maintain a beautiful game with a protagonist that's a Jedi that they're cooking right now with that game. Ubisoft, I think this is their field. This is what they do. You know, EA was just like happening to kill with Respawn, but they also do a lot of other things, a lot of competitive gaming, this is Ubisoft's niche. They made the Assassin's Creed series. Like, there's greatness in them. I know it's there. So that's why I'm gassed for this one. I'm like, I'm a cop. It's the Star Wars name. We gotta go. I'm
interested in the time period. I'm interested in the story that they're saying they want to cook up.
Yeah, this scoundrel story.
And I'm not going to sit here and prejudge. I'm not going to sit here and say that game is ass. I can say maybe it looks it, but wait, I'm going to sit there and find out for myself, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I ever do.
If you've thrown one of those balls in Division 2 that drop and then make their way to the enemy and then blow up, then you know having a droid that you might potentially be able to do that same functionality with, but in a Star Wars sense, is going to be gas. I want them to cook that up. I want to be excited for like my droid. I want my droid to ride like the same way BB-8. Like, yeah. Like, I need something like that.
Right.
If y'all can cook on that, cook on the environment, I'll be there. Cook on the combat, we're going to see. We will have an episode on that.
We're going to see.
We're going to talk about that when it comes out.
Exactly. Like I said, I wasn't necessarily impressed with what I saw, you know.
It also was, how many years ago? That was last summer?
I don't even remember. I think it was last summer. We'll see what they were able to change, but they locked in their date, it seems, for August. So
Yeah,
um
gold, right?
I'm gonna be locked in, man. We've been sitting here, we've been talking about all these, you know, the plot games of Fallen Order that we've talked about in the past. So we haven't really dived into those. We talked about hack and slash, Lego, multiplayer. But if we could end this conversation off, bro, even looking to the future with Outlaws, what don't we have that we think would be cool to
Mm.
get one day? For me, I think of Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Injustice, and I'm thinking to myself, could they cook up a Star Wars fighting game? They've had Vader and Yoda in older games like Soul
And
Calibur,
Star Killer.
and exactly. So can they pop out with a fighting game or like a 5-on-5 esque type For Honor, just straight up? Like, could we get stuff like that,
Mm.
or could we get like a straight up Battlefront 3? Like, what could we get? But if we're talking genre, I would like to see a Star Wars fighting game. Like Dragon Ball did it.
Mm.
So let's somebody cook NetherRealm. Let's get it going, bro. I'm trying to
Somebody.
be in there, just different combos and everything that match the characters, and I like that concept because anybody can win.
Yeah.
In the mobile game we talked about earlier, bro.
Yeah.
There's metas, bro, and I like when a fighting game don't got metas. So I would love to see a Star Wars fighting game where I could pick Boba Fett and wash Vader if I'm good at the combos. I think that would be a really cool thing to see.
That'd be sick. I'd love that. On some Injustice type time, and like really would be sick. And who knows? I mean, I also think it's worth mentioning we didn't get that Mandalorian game. Respawn canceled that. So I want that. I want a Mando game. I want a game that's just on bounty hunting. I think that would be sick. Like, I know Outlaws is going to touch on like scoundrel activity, but I don't want to see that. I want to see specific like Mandalorian culture in a game. I think that'd be sick.
We need dead ass just a Division multiplayer game, bro. We need
that also. And I feel like that's what's interesting about Outlaws too. Like, those are the people who do stuff like that, and they decided to do a single player story. Interesting. Not even co-op. I was like, interesting. That's interesting. But maybe it'll open doors. Who knows, bro? I'll be patient. But I want to also say, like, 1313, that game that was supposed to come out, that we saw a lot of like Sleeping Dogs-esque parkour and acrobatics in a bounty hunter aspect. I think it would be really cool to have some sort of more arcadey type of game, not as serious of a story like the Star Wars game, but I can flip off shit. Like, I want to jump off walls and like flip and run and like do like cool acrobatics with my fighting. Like, I want to do stuff like that. And I think there's a ton of different companies that could do something like that. And it doesn't have to be the biggest AAA game, like what Prince of Persia is doing right now with their titles and letting different studios kind of make their own take. I want something like that. It could even be some side scroller shit. I'll take it. I'll take something where it's
right.
flipping off the wall. This is lit. Like,
Give me. I'll take like a Pokemon type game because I'm not a Pokemon fan, but I'm a fan of the way that those games are stylized.
Sure.
And I would love something Star Wars. Like, give me a throwback game, bro.
Yeah.
I love it that we're in this age where people are like, we hit something back then and let that go too soon. Let's run it back. So,
do we want a first person Star Wars game?
I'm not the biggest first person fan in general, so I would be there, but I don't know how excited I would be for it. But I'll take it. Give me a horror game, bro, like Ewok Hunt on Battlefront 2.
That would be crazy if they did that, actually. But like Ghost Runner has like a sword in that game that, highly acclaimed game, right? Ghost Runner. They just dropped the second one, I think, earlier this year, or maybe late end of last year. But you have a sword. You run on walls, and then you have a sword, and you'd be like, psah, psah. And then like when you're in the air, the enemy will shoot at you, and you get to like dodge in midair and then like slash. If they took that kind of like a concept with a lightsaber and created an interesting combat system, I would play that. I would play that for sure.
I'm there.
100%.
Yeah, you can't ask me about first-person games. It's rough for me. Borderlands 2 might be the greatest success I've ever had with one. So besides COD, of course.
That's quite a mighty game. I respect that. Borderlands 2 is one of them ones. But yeah, man, listen, this is us talking through gaming. We're glad that you could listen to another episode of Star Wars Cuzzo-Op, right? We've got another episode, one final one, as we talk about one more show that we didn't get to talk about just yet next week. So tune in for that episode 68. But when it comes to gaming, are you as excited about Star Wars games and where it could come in the future with EA letting go of this title and this universe? Let us know your thoughts. What are some things you would want to see in a Star Wars game? Share that in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's chop it up. Share this video, of course, with anyone you know who loves Star Wars and is going on a run or taking a drive and needs something to listen to in the background even. Share that. We're trying to organically grow and just be a connection to people through like who we actually hang out with and who we actually talk to. So share it out. Just know every time that you tap in with us here at Cuzzo-Op, there's always going to be a couple things you'll find. And that's 2 cousins, 1 podcast, and endless entertainment. May the force be with you.